is in Mombasa.
Thank you, Engineer Paul Ochola, for welcoming me. I want to recognize our foreign delegates who have joined us in this convention. I want to recognize our senior leaders, our eminent engineers. I recognize our heads of organizations who are here, engineers, and the protocols which have been established. This morning, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to today's function. And I know you may be wondering why probably the day has looked a little bit slow, but simply because this is the official opening day of the convention. Yesterday, we had the Future Leaders Summit. It was a great day, and I want to thank all of you for the role and the participation you participated in to make the day a success. So today we're expecting our chief guests, who is the head of public service, Mr. Felix Kosgei, and he's actually within and will be joining us in a short while. So we decided, as we wait for him, let us use this opportunity to just talk about some of the things we committed to do in the last convention, our 31st IEK convention. I don't know whether my presentation can be displayed to the members, but in the 31st IEK convention, there are some things we committed to do. And one of them is turning innovations to commercialization. It was one of the things we committed and we said we want to work towards. And in response to that, the IEK has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Council of Engineering Deans and Principals to support young engineers from nurturing university innovations to accelerating them and all the way up to commercialization. The MOU with the Council of Engineering Deans is very important because the deans are leading innovations through research and training. And as IEK, we have the advantage of interacting with the entrepreneurs. We are able to try and source funding and organize forums for the students to pitch their programs. And you heard yesterday the lady who was in a panel session here talking about Umeme Sense and how that idea was presented and pitched through this IEK convention, and now it has gone into something that has gone commercial. So basically, the partnership provides a platform for expanding innovation ecosystem and advocate for increased research and development investment. And also protection of intellectual property, because that is one of the other things we noticed is a challenge for young innovators. So engineers and policy making, IEK has formed different task forces. And some of the task forces are specialized and aligned to national priority sectors. We have a task force looking at issues to do with universal health, affordable housing, manufacturing, transport and highways, agriculture and food security, ICT and digital superhighway. And you talk of all these things, they are actually part of the government transformation agenda, which is basically called BETTER. Energy, water, buildings, and the task forces provide technical input. They are basically experts in the specific fields who are brought in now to review whatever policies are under review or proposed, and they're able to put in the input of engineers. So on engineering and development, IEK is deepening engagement with county governments to strengthen the role of engineers in socio-economic transformation. And we have held a number of engagements with Nairobi County, for instance, the Council of Governors, we have had engagements with them. And indeed, this year we participated at the Devolution Conference in Kisumu, Siaya, where IEK organized a side event as part of our partnership with the county governments. So through collaboration with the Council of Governors, that is what we are trying to do. It's a key milestone. We signed an MOU with Makueni County aimed at institutionalizing engineering expertise in county planning and project execution. Now, we all appreciate that, county governments were created as a result of promulgation of the new constitution, but then structures for running the counties were not there. This is the time now the counties are struggling to put up those infrastructure to help them. And as IEK, we are trying to propose and offer solutions that will help them in running especially engineering infrastructure projects. On the Washington Accord, IEK has been a great supporter of the quest and the preparation into ascension of the Washington Accord. This particular assignment was led by the Engineers Board of Kenya, and IEK has been supportive of the process. And just as we are all aware, Kenya was granted provisional, certification into the ascension of the Washington Accord. Now, there is a lot, despite the fact that Kenya has been given provisional status. This is the time now we need to work even harder to demonstrate that we actually deserve to get full status. And this full status would grant our engineers opportunity to move around and work anywhere in the world. An opportunity to have works, designs, and works done by our engineers to be recognized. It's a major milestone and achievement that IBK and IEK has actually managed to take us into. On graduate engineers internship programs, IBK continues to roll out the Graduate Internship Engineers Program. It's a structured 3-year program, and as IEK, we are supporting them in this in terms of engaging with also industry, requesting for opportunities for internships for engineers. And we are using and leveraging on our network with the industry to try and help our students in this program. The reason is because the graduate internship program is a very good program. However, the way it is structured now, it does not take care of all the graduating students. I think at the moment, IBK takes about 500. And we have in excess of 2,000 engineering graduates graduating every year. Where do we take the rest? That is where the challenge is, and that is what we are trying to address in following up with the institutions. And I want to take this opportunity currently to actually implore upon entrepreneurs, organizations, and employers, please grant internship opportunities to these engineers. Unlike many other courses, you don't just become an engineer after graduation. You become a professional engineer after practicing. And therefore, we need to give these young people opportunities to practice so that they can become the professional engineers that can serve this nation. If we don't do that, it will amount to wasting resources because we take a lot of resources to train engineers for 5 years. And then after that, we don't give them the opportunity to practice. They get disillusioned. They divert from engineering and go into other fields. We would have wasted the investment we've put in engineering, training them in engineering courses, which is a very expensive and very intensive program in all our universities. In terms of growing the manufacturing sector, IEK has actually been a strong advocate of this. And we have a task force which is aimed at influencing policy to align with global standards and actually rally the government to offer incentives that would support manufacturing in the country. IEK issued a public statement outlining key challenges in the manufacturing sector, leading to a successful consultative meeting with the Honorable Abubakar Hassan, CBS, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Investment. It's just part of our advocacy efforts to try and influence what happens in that space. On dissemination of engineering knowledge, IEK is taking an active role in this. And in one of the ways we are doing this is we opened an IEK YouTube channel where we are recording engineering marvels and activities happening around for purposes of enhancing knowledge transfer to our members. I remember one of the first YouTube channel video that went round was about some young engineer who created a startup called Ubuntu for dispensing water in the village. Apart from just demonstrating the engineering solution part of it, the social aspect of addressing specific problem is very important, and that goes to inspire other people to do other things. And together with that, we saw the young man who talked about, making some items from water hyacinths, and now he's taken that into a commercial stage. And IEK has issued a request for proportion for the development of IEK Engineering Plaza. This is a dream that IEK has, that one day we will have a building we will call the Engineering Plaza, a building where we will assemble engineers of various sectors of engineering in one place. Just like the way we have Doctors Plaza, you would go somewhere, you find a pediatrician, you go this other side, you find an optician. We want to get structural engineers in this other corner. We want to be told that if you want mechanical engineers, go to ground floor, second floor, third floor, or the other. That is the dream, even though that is not yet achieved. But we are working towards it. ICT and job creation. IEK is promoting advanced digital skills such as AI and IoT to elevate competitiveness of the engineers. We have a training program as IEK that runs on an annual basis. And one of the courses we have identified is AI and IoT. And just to demonstrate our seriousness in the same, in the course of the year, we organized a course on artificial intelligence for engineers, where we partnered with the World Federation of Engineering Organization and the chairman of WIFIO Capacity Building Program, Engineer Manuha. Please stand up and wave to the team. He's here with us, a clap for him. He is the person that helped us to organize that program with WIFIO, together with Chinese Academy of Science and Technology. And we had a very good session that our engineers appreciated. The training was very unique because it was more hands-on and trying to get engineers to get into AI and IoT, practically using examples of what they do in their own specific fields. Definitely, it's an area we need to keep on working on, still focusing on it, and ensure that we get our engineers to get into AI and IoT, because we can't afford to leave it behind. Otherwise, we'll be the ones who will be left. And we are glad to note that the government also is doing a great job in this field. Through the Ministry of ICT, there's a lot of work happening. There are a lot of digital hubs which have been set up in the country. And we have the Concert Technopolis, and we have staff and officers from Concert here. I can see Engineer Sang over there. Please, Engineer Sang, just stand up. I think this team is leading in the ICT sector, especially in implementation of the IoT system and AI structures. So we are glad that the government is actually supporting this effort, and IEK is looking forward to partnering with the government in ensuring that we take these things to the next level, because the engineers are really the owners of IoT, and they're actually the greatest users and beneficiaries of the IoT systems. And together with that, IEK advocates for STEM foundations, including issuing public statements on the importance of mathematics in the CBC and senior school pathways. We know our educational system has been going through some transformation and changes, and as IEK, we have put in our voice to say STEM is very important. In as much as we would want people to specialize, at the formative stages, you cannot afford to ignore STEM. Mathematics, for instance, is a universal course that should be actually available for every child in Kenya. It doesn't matter whether you want to go into law later on or you want to go into linguistics or whatever, but the core foundation for mathematics is very important. And so we are raising our voice in issues and just saying, hey, We can't afford to divert in that direction. On circularity and sustainable development, IEK continues to embed sustainability and circular economy principles across its programs and advocacy. Engineers are being encouraged to integrate eco-friendly practices in the renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and green construction. Through technical forums, task forces, and policy engagement, IEK is championing waste reduction, resource efficiency, and regenerative innovations to drive Kenya's sustainable development agenda. And we're not doing this alone. We are actually partnering with drivers in various sectors. In the energy sector, for instance, we have a new thing that is happening. Just like we have a concert technopolis, we also have a green energy park being developed by KenGen. I work for KenGen. And IEK recognizes that effort. And in this conference, we have exhibitions from KenGen that is demonstrating, among other things like, drilling and exploration and development of geothermal and renewable energy. We have a presentation and demonstrations, exhibitions on what engineers can do, what the green energy parks can do, the contribution it can make into the economy, in job creation, and the opportunities available for engineers and entrepreneurs alike. And we are actually championing support for green energy parks and other special economic zones so that government can offer incentives. And indeed, it has. For instance, at the Green Energy Park, you will go there, what KenGen has done is that it has provided land. We will give you land when you come there. But what we want is we want you to set up industries. And at the moment, we have EcoCloud. That was our first investor to set up a data center in the Green Energy Park. They have already prepared their place, and they are at the design stage of their infrastructure that they want to put there. And the other day, we had a groundbreaking for a green fertilizer production at the industrial park, powered entirely by green energy, geothermal energy. And what we are telling our investors is, by investing in the Green Energy Park, if you go out to look for funds for your project, if you have a plan, there are many financial institutions ready to finance investments operating on green energy. And we guarantee you 100% at the KenGen Green Energy Park in Olkaria. And we have organized trips for people to visit. And we have the general manager in charge of commercial services who will be in this program, in this convention. He will be a panelist in one of the sessions where he will be talking more about that. On public-private partnerships, IEK has actively advocated for greater inclusion of engineers in PPP frameworks, including issuing public statements and engaging media to raise awareness. And we have done capacity building in PPPs just to ensure that our engineers are also capacitated and prepared to take part in the PPP engagements. You know, what happens in PPPs is the people who come to engage in PPP with us have an advantage because this is a field they have always been engaging in. And we are new in it. So chances of, the PPP models being skewed against us are very high. And that is why IEK is up in arms to issue statements, try and influence policy, and also take part and demand to take part in the conversation, because that is the only way we can also participate and ensure that the PPP models we are adopting are actually beneficial both to our economy, to our country, and to our members. So those are some of the things we said we would want to do in the period, and we made these commitments during the 31st IEK convention. This is an abridged version of what we have done, but if you look at our conference magazines, you will be able to look at it in deep and actually be able to try and read for yourself. And I invite you all to have a look at that. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very fruitful day during this convention. Asanteni.
Yeah, thank you, Vice President IEK, who is also the chairman of the Technical Papers Committee. He was just in time to conclude his presentation. Yeah, as we progress, for the people who will be making presentations in the next few days, we are likely to be a bit, we shall kindly request us to guide you on time. And just to give us an overview, identify 3 key slides. The first slide should be your name and your title and where you come from. Then the slide number 3 is supposed to be thank you. Then the content is going to be slide number 2. So we've given you, yes, so that more or less should be able to guide you. So even as you think through your presentations, we appreciate the 36 slides, we appreciate the 69 slides. We wish to have all that content condensed into 3 slides. First page, your name. Last page, thank you. Second page is the content, and the minimum, the font size is 22. And the font type is Calibri, and the maximum number of lines per slide is 7 slides. So we hope we've given you a guide. So with those 3 slides, so slide number 1, the last one, the middle one, 7 lines per slide, font size number 2, and font size number 22, Calibri type. Thank you so much. So it's now my pleasure to invite Annette Ngaiza, who was more or less the host yesterday for the Future Summit. She works for Kenya National Highways Authority. She is based in the northern region, and most of the time she's doing some great work around that area in as far as building and transforming the infrastructure is concerned. She will take us through some resolutions from the Future Leaders Summit. Engineer Annette is a seasoned, upcoming, young engineer and a future engineer. Welcome, Engineer Annette.
All protocols observed. Good morning. Yesterday, I granted you the age of 35. Till from morning till 6. It was 6:30. Hope you enjoyed your age. Today, I'm going to read about take you through the resolution for the 3rd Future Leaders Summit. I'll just go straight to what we discussed on that summit, which is 3rd Future Leaders Summit. The area discussed was leadership and professional development, innovation and industrialization, entrepreneurship and startups, capacity building, partnership and networking, and the last one was event improvement. So on the leadership and professional development, the FLC committed to develop a continuous mentorship program linking graduates and graduate engineers and students with practicing engineers and industry leaders to strengthen professional growth and career guidelines. On innovation and industrialization, our member resolved to promote innovative engineering solutions such as sustainable material, renewable energy application, and digital technologies that contributes to Kenya industrialization agenda. The third one was on entrepreneurship and startup. So the summit encourages collaboration with the institutions such as the MCEA and the innovation hubs to support youth lead engineering, enterprise, and startups. On the capacity building, the Future Leaders Committee committed that they will organize quarterly technical talks and workshops to enhance technical and leadership competences among the young professions. And on the leadership, on the partnership and networking, the summit resolved the strength. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Sorry for that. So the summit resolved to strengthen with So the summit resolved to strengthen partnership with academia, government, so I just continue, okay? To create platform for the knowledge exchange, research collaboration, movement, to enhance future events, the activity.
I would like to invite Engineer Patrick Otuoma. Engineer Patrick Otuoma, if you are in the room, council member, Engineer Patrick Otuoma is the founding chair of IEK North Rift branch. He is serving his second term in the council. I'm hoping that he will even aspire to go higher, even in his service to community. Take it up from here. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, delegates and members. My role and task is to offer the opening prayers. And so we'll be waiting for directions because we want to offer the opening prayers in the presence of our chief guest, who is around the corner. And so perhaps we'll have a moment of an interlude, just a little music interlude as we wait for the arrival of the chief guest. We also apologize for the sound hitches. We are trying to make sure that everything is okay. And it is important to offer an apology because engineers are in the room. And where engineers are, we expect little to none challenges. We are trying to establish a backup line to make sure that if the first line has a hitch, the second is available and a third backup, perhaps. So we don't have to embarrass ourselves as engineers. I'd want to offer you a moment to know the name of the person sitting next to you. It is courtesy to know the name of the person who is seated next to you. So if you fail to get any other information, I think that will be the first information that you should be perhaps having out of this conference. Yeah, get a chance to at least know the name of the person who is seated next to you. Especially if he or she is a member of an international delegation, it is important to know who they are. Wow, that is nice interaction. That is excellent interaction.
Mic check.
Yeah, I've been informed that our chief guest is about to be here. Yeah, so I think if you fail to use and maximize the moment we gave you to know the name of the person sitting next to you, you will do that at the break time. Meanwhile, I want to encourage you to tweet about the 32nd IEK convention, as I also invite the co-MC to come and give some few house rules as a way to offer the opening prayers. So, Karibu Sana, few house rules, okay?
Thank you very much. Distinguished engineers, good morning. Good morning once again. Look at the person next to them and tell them you must have been a wonderful baby. Thank you very much. My name is Cornelius Musembi, and it's a great honor to serve as your MC today, alongside my esteemed co-MC, Engineer Jokchan Mwembe. Just a few housekeeping rules, tafadhali. I will kindly request that we manage our phones. Let's kindly have our phones on silent mode or on vibration. I will also request that we will limit the movement once the chief guest walks in to avoid interrupting the program. Once the chief guest will be walking in, I will kindly request that we will be all upstanding, and we will welcome him with a warm round of applause, tafadhali. After that, we will remain standing for the national anthems. That's the Kenya national anthem and the East African anthem. After that, we'll have a prayer, and we'll continue the rest of the program. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, MC. Let us appreciate our MC. Perhaps just remind us also that we have rooms across here. If you perhaps have blood pressure, you can make way silently to the right side of the stage and the left side of those who are seated. We also have other convenience room on the ground floor. I think that was very important also to make mention of. So meanwhile, as you're putting your phones on silent, you can fish them out and also tweet about the 32nd IEK convention, hashtag. You can say what you have loved, the experience of yesterday. Yesterday was our Young Engineers Day, and all of us were below 35. Today we are all above 35. And some of us are in between. Age is just a number, they say. And it's a very important number. So if you know age is just a number, whether you are above 35 or whether you are below 35, we're all happy to be engineers, isn't it? We're engineering the future, and we have a roadmap, especially for Kenya. So I want us to remove our phones. Let me see you get your phone out. I'm sure all of us in this room have smartphones currently. We are engineers, isn't it? So get your phone out and have a photo, a selfie with the person sitting next to you, especially if the delegates from across Africa or across the world. Just get your phone out. Yeah, good. Smartphones out. Let us get our smartphones out. I'm sure we all have a smartphone. Okay, I'm not seeing your smartphone. Oh, good. Please have a selfie with the delegate next to you. You have had a selfie for. As we're waiting for our chief guest to come in, and we've been reminded that when the chief guest is coming in, we will all be upstanding, and we applause as our chief guest is coming. Today we are going to present to our chief guest a lot of good things. We are going to present at least a list of what we want as engineers. We are so happy. This year we have the highest number of delegates from across the world and also local. We have never had numbers like this before, so we must be very happy. And I wish that you can be trending. So if you are having a phone, take a photo of yourself and the person next to you and then throw it on the social space so that at least the world will know that we are here. We want the government to know that we are here. Okay? So if you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, these days we call it X. If you're on Twitter, if you're on X, I want us to keep IEK 32nd Convention on number 1. We can get there, isn't it? I'm seeing Boma Yangu, affordable housing program training at number 8. The music can just keep on. I mean, I'm trying to tell us where we are in terms of our training. I'm trying to look for our hashtag. So I'm saying Boma Yangu is training at number 8. I'm trying to find engineers training, but I'm not seeing you there yet. So keep tweeting. I'm sure the sound team can give us some slow background music as we keep on putting our trend lines on the social spaces.